In this tutorial, we will go through the life cycle of a project from start to finish. This will include making the estimate, delivering it to a customer, and managing the project to completion using the integrated workflow. All jobs start by creating a new project. This can be done by selecting the green plus estimate button on the dashboard or the projects page. You will then fill in the client's information or select an existing customer from the drop-down and then select the blue Create Estimate button when finished. After creating a new project, we are brought to the main project page for this job. Let's first take a look at the buttons in the action row, which you will use to manage the project. Each project has a number of tasks that need to be completed. These tasks allow you to see where every project is in its life cycle and what needs to be done to move it forward towards completion. These buttons will change based on the project's current task or state of the project. Right now, the current task is to schedule an appointment for you or crew member to go out on site and estimate the work, which you can do by selecting the Schedule Estimate button. If you do not need to schedule an estimate appointment, then you would add your line items to build the estimate and then select the Complete Estimate button. I am going to add a line item to our project to make our estimate now. Next, I'm going to mark it as complete, which will also make a proposal. Proposals are documents which the customer receives and approves. Proposals can either be an estimate or a change order. One important thing to note about proposals is that they are a snapshot of your project in its current state, and it will not automatically update as you make changes to the line items on the project. If any changes are made, you'll need to create a new proposal by selecting the green plus button in the Proposals row of the project. Now I'm going to email this estimate to the customer by clicking on the blue Email button in the Documents row. Our email templates will automatically write the email for you and insert a link to the customer portal where the customer will view and accept the estimate. At this time, you can take advantage of our automated email follow-ups by clicking on the green Start Campaign button. If you'd like to learn more, click the link in the description of the video. Once accepted, the owner of the project will receive an email informing them of the client's acceptance, which will also contain a link to the project so you can easily internally mark the acceptance task as complete and then schedule the work. Whenever the assignment dialog is displayed, you can select the user who will complete the task and also set the start date you want the task to be completed on. Only fill in the end date for multi-day tasks. You can also view a list of accepted proposals by going to the Projects page and selecting Customer Accepted from the filters on the right-hand side of the page. If a customer does not want to move forward with the work, then you can cancel it. The benefit of canceling a project is that it will remain in the system but will no longer show on the active project list. This way, if the client changes their mind, you can reactivate the project without having to do the work all over again. If you require a deposit for the job, then you can make an invoice by selecting the green plus button in the Invoices row. Start by giving the invoice a name. You can choose one from our list or you can write your own in, but we recommend making it descriptive enough so you can easily associate it with a payment, which I'll show you next. Next, choose the amount that you want to invoice for using any of the provided methods, then save when finished. Now it's time to email the invoice to the customer by clicking on the down arrow and selecting Email Invoice. The email will again contain a link to the customer portal where they can view it just like the estimate. After the client pays the invoice, you will enter in a payment for that invoice so it gets marked as paid. To do this, select the green plus button in the Payments row. The customer can also pay online if payment processing is enabled, which you can find by going to Settings, Payment Processing. Next, we choose which invoice this payment is for. Since we only have one invoice, it defaults to that. Check the amount to make sure it's correct, then save. If you are using our online payment option, the payments will automatically be created for you. Make sure you have a payment for each invoice, or your project and financial reporting will not be correct. Now that the project has been accepted, we now move into the work order stage. In the Actions row, we will schedule the appointment dates for the work with the Schedule Work action. When the work is completed, we will mark it as complete with the Complete Work action button. After the work order stage, we move to the invoicing stage. By clicking Complete Invoice, the system will automatically create an invoice for the difference between the project and any other invoices you have already created. We can now email this to the client the same way we did before. Once the customer has paid the invoice off, we will make a payment entry just like we did with the deposit. You can do this down in the payment row or use the Add Payment button in the Actions row to add the payment as well. Once everything has been paid off, we are ready to close out the job, which we can do by selecting the Complete Project button in the Actions row. That's the basic life cycle of a project from start to finish. If you have any questions, we have a full support site with tons of helpful articles, which you can find by clicking the Help button in the top right-hand corner of the screen at any time, or you can message us directly in the app by clicking on the icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.